Okay, and welcome to round 3 here at Russia. Right now I've just kind of realised that I seem to have absolutely no sound. Not really sure why. I think I might have to leave and rejoin for it. Do you have sound, Tom?
Yeah, I do, mate, yeah.
I think I'm probably gonna have to leave and rejoin for that then.
Down. Have you got another invite to join?
I do. Well,
Right, okay.
not a great way to start off the stream, but as I said, this is round 3 here at Russia. Surprisingly, Matthew Walder is not the championship leader for today. It is actually Matthews who took the win last week out, which is, I'm not really sure. I'm sure someone can get a statistic somewhere that of how many races it's been since Matthew Walder didn't lead the championship. I'm sure it's been quite a while. As just gonna get back in now, as I do have a few invites, so hopefully I'll have sound this time.
Sound. Alright. Epic's the first one on a lap.
Okay, going back in now. Looks like the stream itself is doing alright, and the tweet is up, so that's all
sound?
good. We'll see in a second. Hopefully we do. Of course, the game being very nice to start us off in this way.
Good evening, Sandra. Yeah, Jared,
There we
please.
go. Now we have some sound, and I think that's Felix Neguar, who is going to be the first to start a lap. He's of course gone through the little kink of turn 1, approaching turn 2 now. It's going to be heavy braking, really tricky corner here. You want to try and use all of the exit without corner cutting on that left side, and then hug the left side of the track through turn 3 to really gain as much time as you can. Through turn 4, a little lock up for Felix, and he's going to go wide. That might be an invalidation. He's been lucky. Oh, he's actually, I was going to say he's been lucky not to invalidate, but he's actually crashed out. The first one who did start a lap, there's yellow flags, of course, at the end of sector 1, and Felix Neguar's out already.
Didn't expect that, to be fair. Epic's just putting a good lap. Well, good bank code, but we will be looking to improve on that though. But
yeah, and I just saw Patrick go past Felix's stricken Mercedes, and he's going to be setting a lap here. A few people going to be coming through now who said that they were on out laps to start, so sorry about that. I'll try to find someone a little closer. Lewis Curtis is finishing up his lap as he gets up on the curb. Little bit of opposite lock there, but he keeps the car on the track. He's going to come through the final corner now. People already into 29s. He's going to set at 29.8. Pretty solid from him. It looks like he can certainly go faster, as Joey is your provisional pole sitter right now. We'll see Patrick also coming through the final corner, 30.7 for him.
of course, Nino's got his quali ban. I thought he was crushed out from it, but after what happened last week, he's sitting out this one.
And looks like Brandon Glover is going to be the only one on the track to set a lap right now, as most people have set theirs. 15 car grid today, so quite nice to see on a nice and full grid. Should get quite a lot of action from it too. As we see Spreen and Rocco still in the pits, interestingly, so they're obviously maybe going for less runs to have softs, fresh pair of softs for the race. I don't really think that's going to be too needed, because the softs do go quite a while. They could probably go just under half distance in theory and be pretty much okay. Standard I think is 11 laps, and they don't really get too worn. But here's Brandon Glover anyway. He's on the mediums. Don't expect too fast of a lap from him, and it's going to be a 31.8 to put him P10. Now Ollie Flavel, if you want to go on board with him, Tom.
He's just putting a pole for sector 1 though. I'm not sure if that's the game or if he's actually done that, but it looks like it's been quite strong through the first sector. I'm going to go on the back straight now. He didn't do too bad last week, I don't think. Can't remember his result, but through into sector 3. Down to second gear up to third. This looks like quite a strong lap from Ollie. Come around the final corner for a 9th place, 30.1. That's not a bad bank off Ollie if you're looking to improve.
Yeah, he certainly will, as we see most people in the pits. Logan looks like the first one out to set a second lap. Rocco is actually finally coming out to start his first lap in the Racing Point. Of course, teammates with Matthew Walder, who interestingly is only P4 right now. Also didn't take the win last week. Also obviously got a little unlucky with a late safety car and couldn't get through the field as well as he would have liked, so I'm sure he'll be looking to come away from here with a win. He's not put himself in the best position right now, though. We do see Rocco Walsh coming through turn 5 now. He is meant to be purple in sector 1. You would kind of expect this from Rocco, who was only a 10th off his teammate last week out through turns 6 and 7 just there. It's looked like a pretty clean lap. No invalidations, of course. He's really getting close to the track limits as he got a little bit of traffic in. I think that might be Logan Arund, but I could be wrong. Spreen, is it maybe?
Spreen, yeah,
Spreen. But he's not getting held up right now through the left-hander of turn 12 into the very heavy braking of turn 13. A little bit of an awkward entry there, but he handles it. I think there may have been a little bit of a lock-up. Depends if it was the game or actually him, though. Coming through a very tricky left to right. Little chicane as Spreen does get out of his way. He's going into the pits through turn 17 and now 18, the final corner. He's going to be looking for pole. He did have a purple sector 1 at least, and it is going to be pole by almost 2 tenths.
That's his first lap as well. That's impressive. The
Yes.
Racing Point's been looking strong the last couple of weeks. I wouldn't be surprised to see another one too.
And also seeing Matthew Waller coming out of the pits right with his teammates, so maybe they're planning a little bit of slipstream, but Rocco will have to stay out an extra lap than he'll want. So can't be sure, but if they are planning something, then I guess it would help quite a bit. Obviously the start-finish straight is quite long, so they could gain quite a bit, and also if they're planning more for the back straight, it is just as long. Could be gaining quite a bit. Is this yellow flags for a Williams maybe getting out of the way of people?
Yeah,
Is that Joey?
like
It is Joey.
Yeah, it's Joey.
He invalidates, of course,
Ryan's
just
just
this outlap, so won't hurt him at all.
Joey might be looking to give his teammate Ryan some slipstream. Just Ryan's on his lap now.
Gonna try and get to Ryan there. There we go. As Ryan hasn't validated, so if they were planning it, it's out the window now. His teammate, of course, being Joey, he's up in 3rd. Of course, he had provisional pole for a little bit of the start. Is Logan Arund actually? I think that you actually mentioned that. I kind of skipped over that. Very close to Rocco Walsh in that Haas.
Yeah. Yeah, only 200s off. It's close. He's a new to F1, isn't he? Last season was in F.
Yeah, last season he was he came 3rd in F2, but showed very good pace, and he's proving it here that he does have it with that 29.6 that he's set. So could be expecting good things from him. He of course was confident. He got a podium for a little bit until the stewards report, but Thomas Troupes puts it up into P2. That's 4 thousandths of a second between them, and we thought the gap between Logan and Rocco was quite small. Thomas has split them.
He'll be competing for podium today. He's been showing good pace lately. 4 thousandths of Rocco. 4 thousandths of a second. 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 4 Not bad, that.
I'm sure he's going to be kicking himself, though, knowing that just like probably one corner a little different than he could have had that pole.
Exactly.
We are seeing pretty much the whole grid now out on laps. I'm going to pick up Lewis Curtis now. He's starting his lap, if you want to go on board with him, Tom.
Yeah. So he's coming around turn 3 now. He'll be looking to improve on his time of 29.8.
And speaking of improving, Matthew Alders set at 29.3.
That's impressive. It's what we're expecting though. On to turn 7. Looking for a good exit onto the back straight. Oh, loses the car a little bit. Not bad though. He is improving by 3/10.
Yeah, I think I just saw. I think Ryan just improved to P5, so Lewis is going to be looking to get quite a significant improvement. Of course, he has got a podium under his belt from Australia only 2 weeks ago. He didn't get the podium last week out. He didn't seem to show too bad of pace, and he's going to set a 29.380, which is 300ths off Matthew, just under 300ths. So that's another very small gap that I'm sure he thinks he could have got provisional pole with that lap. But of course, I think Matthew can probably improve on that as well. So Lewis has shown that he's a pretty damn good qualifier, and he's just proving it even more with that P2. Rocco Walsh, I just picked up on, he's going through turn 3 to start his lap. Coming into turn 4, it's going to be Lewis in front of him as a little bit of traffic, so hopefully he doesn't get in his way. There is a little bit of a gap between them, so no dirty air is going to be affecting them at this point at least, as he exits turn 5 through the kink of turn 6 and then through into turn 7. Now Lewis is a bit more in his line of sight. He's going to be coming through turn 9 now. Hopefully he won't get held up too much. There's going to be a little bit of dirty air, I'm sure, affecting that. He might have been able to pick up slipstream, but he opts to stay absolutely away from it, as a long turn 11 into a smaller turn 12. I am not even surprised at their corners, to be honest. But yeah, exiting turn 14 now, and turns 15 and 16 very tricky on throttle. You got to be very careful, otherwise you can see yourself going into a bit of a half spin, and he's actually gonna box. He's not gonna be improving on his time right now. He obviously didn't feel that time was good enough. I'd actually forgot to get this back up. I got it at the start, the information, so sorry about that. You'll have to sec this up now. We'll see. Spreen, I think. No, he's invalidated, and he's going to be coming into the pits.
Yeah, I think Joey will be the next one out. He's on his outlap at the moment. But yeah, he'll be looking to improve, as he was showing good pace last week in Baku. Might even be looking for a podium this week. He's definitely showing the pace for it.
Yeah, he certainly is. Of course, right now he's in 7th. He's going to be looking for an improvement. I'm sure he's going to be capable of it anyway. As he said, he has shown quite good pace, so he's coming through now. Turn 18, the final turn of this track. This track, of course, as you can guess, it's 18 corners. Through turn 1 now, flat out, of course. He's going to be opening DRS just before it, and then into the probably the most crucial corner on this track, because you can gain and lose so much time, because if you go a little bit wide and get close to invalidating, you have to kind of avoid it, which can lose you time. So really crucial to get that corner right. You can gain quite a lot, as he takes it quite well through turn 4, coming up to turn 5 now. Down to 3rd gear, he's going to be short shifting up to 4th. It doesn't actually look like he short shifted there, which is interesting. Through turn 7 and coming up to 8 and 9. This is actually counting as 2 corners, I've just realised. And now we see his teammate. You said that they were trying to maybe get some slipstream going. This time they're actually going to succeed, as it looks like he's going to give his teammate Ryan, he's going to give his teammate quite a good amount of slipstream. He set a purple sector 2. I didn't actually quite catch how much he was on his time, if you caught that, Tom. But he's going to be coming through turns 15 and 16 now. Looks like he didn't get the best exit out of turn 14 or 15 to set him up for 16, but he's through the final 2 corners now. He was purple, but he's not going to be enough. It's going to be 29.6, and actually equal with Thomas, but for some reason he goes ahead of Thomas, but Thomas said it first, which
that's close.
Isn't really... that's not how it's meant to work, but the game has decided Joey should go ahead, even though it's like he should be behind by how it works in real life, but sure. As we see, I think Rocco... Yeah, and I see Rocco just a little bit ahead of him. We'll go... yeah, Matthews. Not Matthew. I kind of assumed it was Matthew because he's been leading the championship for so long. It's kind of weird to not have him lead. But we are going to go on board, of course, with the championship leader. He's going through what is turn 5, and then there's a little kink of a turn 6 on the right there, and then it comes up to turn 7, and then it's a similar thing with turns 8 and 9. On the exit of turn 8, there's a little extra kink that is turn 9, so there's 4 corners there when you might think it's only 2. Exiting turn 10, and then there's a very long turn 11. This track has got a lot of these kind of corners, these kind of kinks. That's not really a kink as much as it's just a very long right-hander, and then a smaller left-hander to bring you into turn 13 and 14. Very easy to lose the rear end. You want to get a really nice and smooth exit out of turn 14, and the similar thing goes for the exit of turn 15 to set yourself up for turn 16, and it looks like he's done that quite well. No invalidations for Matthews right now. He's down in P9. He's going to be wanting to improve here through the final corner now. He's going to be wanting to be at least close to pole, and he's going to set a 29.6. We've seen a lot of 29.6s. Between 4th and 8th, there's only 31 thousandths between them. No, not even. There's like 20 thousandths between them.
Yeah.
So you can see the gaps just a little bit quicker, and it could have been P4, which would actually be P5 because Rocco sets the fastest lap of the of the quali session, but then Matthew beats it instantly with a 29.1. So looking very similar to Baku quali, the 2 racing points leading the charge. Lewis right behind them in 3rd. I'm sure he would have wanted to get more. He's retired now, as a few people are. And it's actually over very suddenly. It seems like everyone kind of finished their laps around the same time. So a racing point front row lockout with none other than Matthew Alder taking the pole position once again.
I don't think there's a surprise with that. Racing point 1-2.
Yep. Of course, it's Matthew Alder taking the pole, as we said, ahead of his teammate Rocco Walsh. They'll be looking to keep that going into turn 1. Lewis Curtis is going to be looking hungry to try and upset the racing points in 1-2. He's starting 3rd. Thomas Troupy's in 4th. Joey's 5th. Logan Arendt is 6th. Matthews is 7th. Ryan 8th. Pedro Souza is in 9th. Spreen is 10th. And then outside of the top 10, Ollie Flavel, Brandon Glover, and Patrick. And then Nino with the quali ban, and Felix crushing out very early in 14th and 15th.
Ollie will be looking to improve on that P11. A bit of a lackluster quali for him.
He does get the advantage of fresh tires, so I'm sure he won't mind too much. If you're starting 8th, I think you'd probably rather start 11th with fresh tires. So if you consider if he was that little bit much more quicker, then might have been worse for him. I'm hearing a massive echo, by the way. I'm not sure if the stream's hearing that too, but if you have your mic unmuted and there's no more.
Right, I've changed it now. I've fixed my mic. It might have fixed, but...
and I'll speak, and I do not hear myself. Great, that's nice.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, if that happens again, I'll just kind of let you know, so you can do whatever the little fix is there.
Sound.
We've got 10 seconds until we see the grid, and we can start making predictions, which will be fun.
Yeah.
And if you're in the chat as well, feel free to get involved with predictions. I mean, anything can happen. I mean, if you saw last week, it was Matthews taking the win after a stewards, which removed the 5 second. I think it was... I don't actually remember. It was either Joey or Ryan who took second. I'm
not sure actually.
I'm gonna have a quick look so I can confirm that.
Brian qualifying outside the top 10, no surprise there.
It was in second. Yeah, it was Ryan, and then dropping to third was Rocco Walsh, but still gained quite significantly on Matthew Older, who only scored a measly 4 points, which was the reason he's not leading right now. Matthew's Oliveira is his second name. He is 6 points ahead of Matthew Older, but he's starting down in P7, so he's really going to be looking to improve and really get up to these top three, which really, Matthew, Rocco and Lewis, I feel like we're going to be seeing this kind of combination at the front quite a lot, with Thomas just a little bit often. This was very similar to last week. I think this was actually the same top four as last week. I can't remember if Lewis was third though, or not. If Lewis was, then it was the same top four. Which,
yeah, well...
Yeah.
It was always going to be close between the two, well, Joey, Thomas and Lewis. They're definitely three of the quicker drives in the division. They'll be looking to break up the 1-2 with Matthew and Rocco.
They certainly will, as the AI takes over for them. And they will be on their way to the grid now. Matthew Older taking yet another pole position. He's going to be wanting to lead from the front, as he did in Baku last week, until we had that safety car that kind of got rid of his lead. He got it back then again, and then the late safety car kind of ruined any chance he had at the win, so he's going to be looking for nicer things today. Rocco Walsh starting in second, with Lewis and Thomas right behind. They won't care about the racing points. They're going to be wanting to upset both of them to try and get good starts. We'll see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights for round 3 at Russia. And it's lights out and away we go. And I think Rocco was actually at a good enough start. He's just a bit alongside Matthew. Matthew has a better second part to the start, as Thomas Tropy's already getting past Lewis. He's up the inside, as there's a little bit of contact there. Rocco Walsh trying to go around the outside. There's already contact. I think that was Thomas Tropy's and Lewis Curtis there having a little altercation there, as Joey's trying to go up the inside. He's made himself up into third. Logan makes it up into fourth. Lewis and Rocco Walsh, actually no, not Rocco, Thomas and Lewis dropping down the field a little bit, and in the early stages of this race it's Matthew from Rocco, Joey, Logan and Ryan, and crucially Matthews down in P6 trying to make up some places. He's gone up one place. Of course, he started P7.
Yeah, Felix sucks. Felix from the back, he's picked up 4 positions, so a great start from him. But his teammate Brian, he's dropped position and he's picked up a penalty already. I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like he got pushed out wide into turn 2. But yeah, not a good start from Lewis. Or Thomas.
Yeah, certainly not from Thomas. Of course, he was looking for a P3 at one point. He was almost down the inside of Rocco Walsh there, as the two racing points kind of went side by side through turn 1. Kind of blocked off any opportunity anyone else behind ever thought they might have had. And of course they're leading really from the front. I'll get a interval there, as Matthew Older has already broken the DRS of his teammate going on to lap 2, not lap 3. Don't get it confused, because this game still hasn't fixed that. So it is the Racing Points who lead 1-2 as Thomas jumps up to second momentarily. He is definitely last, along with Lewis as well in the pits. He's down in P13. We'll see who actually comes out ahead between these two. And it looks like Lewis's stop was just a little bit too long, so Thomas is going to jump him. But both of them, you can see the gap from the track map, how much time they've just lost from their start on that contact they had in turn 2. Kind of looks like Thomas maybe went a little wide, and then of course you had Lewis trying to go around the outside of him, and I think maybe Thomas was too focused on people in front, but we'll see if maybe something ends up coming out of that. But right now we can say they're definitely occupying the last 2 places on this grid. Matthew Walder is in first, so gonna have to add an extra spot as it updates there finally.
Not a bad start from Ollie as well. He's jumped up to P7. He'll be happy with that. The leader out of the medium runners.
Yeah, very crucial to be on those mediums, to have the quicker tyres at the end of this race. This race is an easy soft medium, so if you're on the mediums you're going to be quicker at the end. So Ollie could be coming back right at the end, of course. Ollie and Pedro, actually. It looks like maybe Ollie's just been overtaken. DRS and Slipstream, I'm sure, helped out with that overtake, as Ollie drops down to P8 now, as maybe a similar case happened with Felix and Patrick. Patrick is on the outside now for turn 3. Felix is going to try and go around the outside of turn 4. He's going to cut him off, and he's going to get that move up into P9. Of course, he's on the softs, Patrick on the mediums, Felix the lowest soft runner, so he's really going to have to be defending more than he's going to be attacking right now. Them softs should be just a little bit better, but of course Ollie in front of him on the mediums, I don't think he's going to want to let him through anytime soon. So looks like Felix isn't having the best start he could have had to his race, being on those mediums. But looking at places that he's gone up 6 places in that respect, it's not been too bad.
Yeah, there's not much going on at the front. It seems like it's, well, fairly spaced out, as Joey's getting close to Rocco, but otherwise it's very quiet at the front.
And Matthew Alder now with that 1.4 second lead. You can see him just pulling away from this train. Rocco might be under pressure from Joey now. He's going to have DRS in activation for this straight. He's going to be closing up in turn 1, but he's not going to be able to be quite enough close to be making any overtakes as he closes up once again through turn 3 flat out. Surely Slipstream helping out with that, as he seems to have used a little bit more overtake than Rocco, having 10% less compared to the guy just in front of him. So it's going to be a little more difficult to be making overtakes. Logan Aurand sitting on 45%. He's just kind of hanging back, making sure he doesn't get into any incidents with anyone. He's a solid P4 right now, just ahead of Ryan Heron. So these two, Ryan and Logan, doing quite well to be up there, similar to Baku, the end, of course, where Logan, after Pens, I think he ended up taking a P4 or P5. Similar position right now, and Ryan as well, so I'm sure they'll be looking to kind of pick up the scraps as Joey closes up even more to Rocco Walsh, going through turns 15 and 16. Now we'll see how much more he can close up. Of course, Rocco won't be benefiting from any DRS from his teammate. His teammate's just running away with this right now. He's not looking to help his teammate out with DRS or anything, so Joey might be able to have a run here. Going through what is turn 1, the little kink. You can see how close they are. Logan Aurand obviously not too far off either. We'll see what happens in turn 1. The Williams is closing on Rocco Walsh, but he's not quite close enough to be making a move. You can see he is much closer now, though. If he uses a little bit of overtake, maybe he can close up that little bit, and I actually doubt it now. 4 tenths back. he's going to have to wait for another straight as Matthew Waller increases his lead now to 1.7 seconds, almost 2 now. He just keeps eating away at a bigger gap. I kind of said that the wrong way around, but you can see now 1.8 seconds. He's just slowly getting away from these guys behind him.
There's Nino right up behind the McLaren and Patrick. He's looking for a move. He's tried to go down the inside a couple of times, but he hasn't been able to make it stick yet. He's dropped down to 4/10 now, but we'll be looking to get past him soon and gain some more positions after the well, not poor quality, so quality ban, but
yeah, and Brandon Glover not too far behind. All of these three having a penalty respectively, so they'll be fighting for position at least between themselves. So we'll see how that develops. But we're going to go back to Rocco Walsh now, who's about to come through turn 17. Ryan kind of looks at maybe a little bit further behind than he was last lap. He's not going to be too happy with that. He wanted to be just a little bit closer, as Logan Arund isn't too far off the back of Joey now. We'll see what happens here. Joey's going to close up into turn 1, but he's not going to be able to make a move. This train just gets closer and closer together every lap, it seems. But that last little bit that you need to close up, it's just not quite happening for them. Of course, the dirty air would be having a little bit of an effect on that as well. As you can see, they always kind of come through in a single file. Matthews, the championship leader down in P6, he's closing up on this train as Breeden has left the session. He retired very early on, so unfortunate for him to be out so early. But yeah, Rocco Walsh still leading this train, so he's doing what he has to do. And of course, Matthew having his teammate in second and a 2.7 second gap now. So in the last lap, he's pulled another about second. So maybe Rocco had a bit of a mistake at some point in the lap. Not completely sure, or maybe just he's pushing a lot, because you can see the gap just keeps going up and up and up by little bits.
Yeah, Rocco acting as sort of backstop for Matthew, managed to, well, allowing him to increase that gap. So Matthew will be thankful for that. But Matthews in the Red Bull, he'll be looking to, well, make some overtakes and hopefully maintain his position at the top of the championship. But at the moment, it's going to look like that's going to be difficult for him.
Indeed it will be, as we see this train basically continuing as it has been for the last few laps. Rocco is going to be leading this train. I think the Williams will close up a little bit closer actually than they have been in recent times. He's actually much closer. If he uses a bit of overtake now, maybe he can make that move. Within 3/10 now, going through turn 3. Rocco looks like he's not actually had the best line through turn 3. It allows Joey to close up just a little bit more. Coming up to turn 5 now, you can kind of see it seems like Joey actually has a little bit more grip than Rocco. So maybe Joey, or maybe Rocco, on the flip side, maybe has burnt out his tires a little bit. Maybe he's having heating problems actually. I say that, but then Joey is actually the one to spin, and he's under pressure from Logan Aaron now, trying to go down the inside. I'm sure Ryan Heron's going to take up the scraps from this fight. Of course, Logan is going to have the inside for the next corner. It is probably the preferred line, but he's not actually going to. He's going to dive it up the inside. It looked like Joey had the move done, but he's going to try and hang it around the outside now. But he gets squeezed out, and Logan actually goes for a switchback down the inside into turn 15 now. He's going to have the outside for turn 16, and it looks like Joey's going to hold on just about, and he does. But now Rocco has actually pulled a 1.6 second gap, so that little that mistake has really cost Joey now, as actually he's got damage as well. Left end plate there.
He's got a bit of breathing space now, Rocco. As I think.
Let me just get a good look at that. Actually, no, he doesn't. I must have had a bad angle on that then. Or maybe someone else had damage?
I think Ryan's pit, so.
Oh, maybe it was Ryan then. Because I swear I saw Williams with damage. Maybe I just looked at the wrong one. And thought it was the other. But yeah, of course he
Ryan
pits quite an early pit stop, lap 7, to go on to mediums. Mediums should be able to make it to the end. They can go quite a lot into this race, so maybe he's just trying to get an undercut, which actually could be kind of a bit of a team strategy. Joey staying out. Rocco, of course, may have to react to Ryan soon. Ryan comes out in clean air, so maybe it's kind of like a Williams is trying to bait Rocco into pitting earlier than he'd like, so he can stay ahead of Ryan Heeran, and then stop a kind of thing where what's happening with this train, that is so hard to make an overtake if no one makes a mistake. Like we saw from Joey making his mistake, he just about kept his position. As actually no, Joey's coming in too, so both of the Williams opting to go a little bit earlier, trying to go for undercuts.
The undercut can prove very effective, so it might be the best way to try and gain time on Rocco, possibly get past him. As Pedro also pits.
Yeah, it looks like a few people trying to get some undercuts on this top 2. I think really going for an undercut on Matthews kind of out of the question. He's now 4.2 seconds ahead of his teammate. Logan Howard has stayed out with Rocco Walsh. They will probably be going a little bit deeper into this race to try and have just a little bit better tyres. People like Joey, Pedro and Ryan, they've all come out in quite clean air right now. There's a space between them anyway. Pedro was of course about 2 seconds back before the pit stop, so he hasn't really lost anything, but he is going to be looking to gain, especially on Logan Aurand and Matthews, who have both stayed out. They'll be looking to make sure they get ahead, especially Ryan and Pedro, who was previously behind them too. So we'll see how these undercuts work out, and also how tyre wear ends up going at the end of this race. You can't count out anyone on the mediums either. They'll be on softs for the end of this race. Patrick right up the back of Felix Negwer. Felix, it looks like he has stayed in front of this train for the time being, or he's made overtakes. I'm not completely sure. We've been so focused on the fight for the lead. But
I don't know what happened to Ollie. Ollie was further up in P7, and he dropped down to P11 for the the Pedro pit and the others pit. So I don't know what happened to him. He might have spun, but I didn't catch that.
Yeah, as in comes Matthew Alder. Rocco Walsh, of course, has to stay out the extra lap. It looks like it's going to be fine for him, though. It's not going to be fine for his Patrick, though. He's getting passed by Nino into turn 1. Nino tries to squeeze him out in the exit, but he's still there, though. Both of them on the medium, so no tyre advantage for any of them. Nino's trying to get a good exit through turn 3, and now exit of turn 4. He gets a better exit, but he's got pretty much no ERS to use. He's got 3%, so doesn't look like he's going to be able to make a move on this occasion. Of course, this is a battle for P2. These guys haven't pit, however. Matthew Alder coming out in P5, whereas Rocco Walsh, he still hasn't actually pit. I thought he did last lap, but that was actually Matthew. Of course, he couldn't pit. So we'll see how Rocco does. He's been like 3 laps extra compared to the people who pit around like lap 7 and 8, like the 2 Williams and Pedro. Logan eventually following as he comes out behind Joey, just ahead of Faz, so it doesn't look like Pedro's undercut worked as much as he would have wanted. He's just kind of got 1 lap older tyres now, so unfortunate for him that it didn't work, and also us, because I'm sure we could have got a bit of a fight if some of these undercuts did end up working. We'll see how Joey goes, though. Rocco Walsh is into the pits now. He's going to be putting on mediums to the end, of course, and as we have a little bit of a glitch, he is going to get out eventually. Is Ollie, Flavel, people like them, the people who haven't pit on the mediums, are going to go through, and actually it looks like they have made an absolutely amazing undercut. Rocco Walsh is going to come out behind both of the Williams, so they've had a masterclass of strategy as a team. Rocco Walsh comes out just ahead of Logan Aurand in P8, but the 2 Williams now are running a provisional 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah. that undercut's worked effectively, and Nino's just finally overtaken the McLaren of Patrick into P2, turn 2, sorry. Now he's holding provisional for P1, and then Brown will be looking to get past that McLaren soon as well.
Yeah, Brandon, it looks like he might actually be able to have a go here. He's got much more ERS. He's not going to be using it right now. Of course, they won't be pitting for a good while yet. These mediums can be brought quite a distance into this race. They'll be pitting probably around 18 to 20, judging by how early the soft runners pit. As he closes up, Patrick also equally closing up on Nino. Nino, of course, would have made that overtake with pretty much no ERS, as we saw when he was trying to get past the first time. He kind of depleted all of his ERS, so we'll see how he does with defending. And also Patrick on Brandon Glover, who has had quite a nice exit. Doesn't look like Patrick has had as much fortune. He's going to open DRS, Brandon Glover. He's going to be right up the back of him into turn 1. We're going to see maybe a dive. No, he's going to stick behind. Very sensible driving from Brandon Glover to stick behind and try and make an overtake later on, as he still has so much ERS to use. He could make this overtake now if he wanted, but it looks like he's content to stay behind for now.
It's a safer option. A good sensible driving.
As we see, actually, a few more people getting penalties. Ollie Flavel and Ryan, it looks like, recently picking up pens, along with Matthews as well. Joey then technically running a provisional P2 if you factor in pens. And Rocco Walsh 1.5 seconds behind them both. So like this William pair, since they're running so close on track, they can really dictate what happens with this P2 that they have sealed right now, having P2 and P3. So Rocco's going to really have to get past one of them, and also hope that he's not back up into the Williams that he got past the first time, because like, I mean, as I said, it's just they have so much power running in such a good position, so close to each other. The two Williams are going to be soon getting past Ollie Flavel, who I'm sure is going to be significantly slower as they approach turn 17 here. We'll see how the exits are compared to the two, as a few Codemasters lock ups, because they didn't really lock up, so no overtake is going to be involved right now, or engaged in, I should say. Up into turn 1.
Lewis picked up that.
Yeah, interestingly he did. He's running on the softs, as did Ollie just lose it there? He did. He's actually got wing damage, and both of the Williams go through. But crucially, Tom, the racing point of Rocco Walsh is going to be behind Ollie in crucial points. As actually, no, he's going to get out of the way now. I thought we were going to get something a little more exciting there, but he just let everyone through, unfortunately. So we're not going to see a Ferrari holding on for dear life. He's just thought he's not going to get involved in anything, just let everyone through. So two Williams not going to be gaining from that, as Rocco Walsh closes up just a little bit more. 1.1 seconds the gap now. We can see he's going to be activating the ERS, as Joey does on his teammate. Could he be going down the inside here? He does stick behind. I would be thinking that they, like, with this much strategy, I don't think they'd want to be fighting each other. With Rocco being just outside that DRS range, they're going to want to keep him there. Of course, Joey will be getting held up by his teammate right now with that dirty air. So I'd say Rocco will be getting in just about now. He's looking at that DRS, and he has got in just 9/10 now, so he's going to have it for the start finish straight. Same with Logan Arend, he's not too far off, so this train is just going to kind of be brought together now, as Ollie Flavel retires in the pit lane there. So unfortunate for him, as the two Williams are going side by side now, are they? And it looks like Joey, which one was going in front of the other? I actually kind of forget. I think Ryan was the one who was leading the two of them to begin with, so I think Joey looked at a move and didn't actually go for it, and it allowed Rocco to close up so much, because Joey's exit would have been so much worse and compromised from trying to go down the inside of his teammate. So it looks like their Williams are kind of not as coordinated as they would like. They might want to kind of regroup and just not fight each other at all. They're just gonna want to keep this P2 and P3 because it's really solid how they're running right now, and I can't say that they would want to be losing a position kind of like this, especially with Rocket Walsh right behind them. He's going to be picking up all the scraps from if anything happens between these two Williams, but they seem to be respectful at least when they do fight. Logan Arund has actually recently lost DRS on this train. I'm sure he'll get it back soon though, with them kind of getting held up by each other. Pedro could be looking at a move if that doesn't actually happen. Logan is still just outside and he's actually upped it for the last corner, so he's going to keep his DRS just about as Lewis gets another penalty and actually retires from the session. So it looks like maybe he had a spin. I think it would be possible there. I guess if you turned too much and lit up your rears, we might be able to see where his car went off. As we won't, his car has disappeared now, so we won't be able to get a view from Nino or anything like that. As wait, where's?
I think Matthews just passed Brian.
Yeah.
Oh, Patrick picks up the 3-second penalty, up to same as Nino now, both on 6 seconds of penalties. It's been an interesting battle with them towards the end of the race.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking maybe he got up on the curb of the exit of turn 8, kind of like 8/9 if you want to kind of put it like that. But Matthew Walder is actually in the slipstream now of Patrick. He's going to go down the inside, and it looks like this move is going to be a pretty simple one around the outside now, and Patrick is going to have to give in eventually. Significantly more worn tyres as he closes up under braking, almost hits him there, getting very close to the gearbox of Matthew Walder, but nothing can be made of it, and he's going to have to settle for P3 as Brandon Glover just behind him, sitting quite happy, I would think, with around 90% ERS. So he's saving his ERS quite well, as Patrick just in front of him with not too much, as I almost missed that. Matthew Walder getting ahead of Nino Romanello there in the straight pretty easy there. Had it done just before the corner. So Matthew Walder does take the lead of this race, and it doesn't look like we're going to be having any safety cars anytime soon. So Matthew might be able to run away with this now, and even if there's a safety car, he'll only be coming out behind Pedro, which would be P5 or 6. It would be P6 that he comes out in, because all these medium runners would certainly pit with him. So if they didn't pit, then he would just be on significantly fresher tyres. He'd be able to probably go from... He would actually be able to go from softs to the end. So he's in a perfect position, really, and it doesn't look like with any traffic ahead of him, I don't think that he'd be bottling a win like this. Matthew Walder, of course, pulling over a second now to Nino. And Ryan Heron still hasn't got by, as Joey closes up to Ryan down the inside, but of course doesn't go for a move. They are trying to keep this pretty stationed in P2 and P3 after all the medium guys pit, and it looks like they are starting to pit now. Brandon and Nino both in. We'll see maybe if Patrick... Did he stay out? He did stay out. The only medium runner left to make a pit stop, the only one without a pit stop, as now we do see a bit more better of a picture, as Ryan is almost getting overtaken by his teammate, but again his teammate's 6 behind us. Now we see Rocket Walsh trying to go around the outside of turn 3. He's going to be trying to get ahead, or at least split these two Williams, but these two Williams having second and third, it's unlikely that they would bottle it too much, as Joey defends to the inside, places his car beautifully there, and Rocco just can't find a way around, as Logan Arund, I'm sure, is going to be closing up here as well, going through turns 7, and then 8 and 9 is here. The little kink just there being turn 9, and we'll see out of turn 10 if Rocco can get any kind good of an overtake, Ryan will be helping out his teammate with slipstream, which I'm sure Joey will be happy about. It looks like this is quite coordinated from the two Williams guys. Every time Rocco gets close, Joey can just slipstream off his teammate and keep the position. So if they keep going like this to the end, they need to do it for another 10 laps, mind. But it looks like they're doing it quite well, as I think we're going to see Patrick in now for his one and only stop onto the softs. Nino and Brandon coming out in 11th and 12th, just behind Thomas Jarpies, who's on 14 lap old medium, so I'm sure we'll be seeing moves on him very soon, as Felix is just ahead of this little train we have here. Is Thomas going to be pitting now? He is, actually. So Nino and Brandon are going to be going through. We'll see how this battle...
They just put one down the outside of Logan. Doesn't make it stick, though.
Yeah, I just kind of caught the end of this. Pedro is going to be in the slipstream for turn 3. He might dive it for turn 4. And he's going to stick behind. Sensible driving from him. And good of him to not go for anything too drastic. Sticking with a P6. This is provisional P6 now. Net P6. No one else yet to make their stop anymore. Everyone has stopped at least once. As Thomas comes in for his second and only stop on the soft. So he'll be probably looking for a bit of glory with the fastest lap. But I don't think he'll be getting much else out of this race from P12 unless there's a safety car late in this race. We see everyone falling through now. The two Williams going a solid P2 and P3 once again. Joey is going to get the slipstream and DRS off his teammate, and he's going to stay ahead of Rocco Walsh once again, who you can see is so close to the gearbox of Joey. He's trying to find a move around everywhere. But and Joey even having a little bit of a moment there, but he's placing his car so well, and Rocco just can't get that last little bit. He needs to be alongside. It's not really a case of closing up. He's certainly close up. He just can't get alongside him because Joey has that slipstream and DRS. Logan following this train as well. A train of 6 we have for this P2, so an amazing fight we have as Joey goes down the inside of his teammate. No, once again he's going to stick behind, and it's going to allow Rocco to close up, but I think Joey's going to place his car well. He's actually placing his car perfectly there for turn 3. He's going to be looking to go around the outside, as I think you're going to mention, Matthew, getting that 3-second pen, 8 seconds ahead, so I don't think it'll make too much of a difference. But Rocco's finally actually got side by side into turn 5 now. He's going to try and squeeze the Williams out now, and it looks like he has that move done up into P3 finally. The two Williams have been broken, and we get some fighting now. Rocco right on the back of Ryan here, and of course Rocco isn't going to be sticking behind Ryan like Joey was, so we could see a fight, a proper fight for P2, as the Williams were kind of controlling the last 2 podium places. The duct has kind of been broken, if you want to put it like that. And also Logan is not too far off, as Joey tries to go for a move. He went left and right, and he's actually spun. And Logan Arund actually hits him. I think he's got damage as well. Left end plate damage there. Yellow flags, of course. Matthews and Pedro get to go through for a P4 and P5 there. So Logan and Joey going from 3rd and 5th down to 6th and 7th, and Logan's going to have to be making a pit stop. Joey, I think, didn't actually get any damage off that, luckily for him, so he gets to continue, but he's going to be a little bit off this train now. You can see on the track map how much he's lost after that spin, and now Matthews, the championship leader, can see this P2, and he's obviously been gifted 2 positions from a little bit of fighting there. Rocco Walsh, of course, lucky for him to not come off badly from Joey hitting his side pod. I'm not completely sure. I didn't get a proper look, and I don't quite remember it perfectly, but it kind of looks like Rocco on the outside. Joey couldn't get the switch back as much as he wanted. It was a little ambitious from Joey as well, and he kind of paid the price for it. And of course as well, Logan, who was trying to just keep out of everything, became a kind of a casualty to Joey's spin. So now it's 4 people going for this P2. and then Joey's like 5 seconds off, so he's not really going to be closing up much at all.
Of course, Rocco's the only one without penalties though. So out of the ones contending for P2, so Rocco will be. Look, he looks like it's comfortable for the 1-2 for the race point in the moment, as long as Rocco doesn't drop out of the 3 second gap.
Yeah, and I was just going to mention there, I think Patrick just made a move on Felix Negua there for P8, as actually Patrick has gone round and he's hit the wall. That was a very odd spin. I thought he would have got past the part where you would expect to lose it, but he has gone around at the exit of turn 14, I think it is, and that season dropped to P11 now. So very, very unfortunate for him as he lets Thomas through. He's most likely going to have to pit now with pretty much no wing left, really.
Or
not enough, at least.
Teammate Felix gets it done. It was a pretty easy move down the main straight. Somehow Brown's actually in the points for once. I was very surprised by that.
Yeah, and judging by that, I think as Patrick retires in the pit lane, down to 11 cars now. I don't think Felix would have put too much of a fight for that. Of course, Brandon on first softs and being his teammate, I think Felix would have let him just kind of push on as the overtake looks to have been completed in the straight. So yeah, the two Mercedes, as you said, swapping positions, and we'll have a look once again at this fight for P2. Rocco Walsh still right on the back of Ryan Heron. Ryan has shown really good pace. Of course, he had a podium here last week where he took a P2. Rocco took a P3, so they're in the same positions now as they were last week. Rocco initially took the win, but they got some penalties removed, Matthews and Rocco, which is why Matthews is actually leading this championship. At the moment, though, he's going to be losing out to I think Rocco maybe as well. I will actually have a look at that.
Yeah. Joey's going to be looking to close up to Matthews in P5, also with no penalties. If he can get within another 2 seconds, then he will be promoted up to P5, possibly P4, with Pedro also on a 3 second penalty.
That is certainly something to take into account. Rocco and Matthews, 7 points splitting them. Right now Rocco will be taking a P2, 15 points. Matthews would be taking a P5 for 10. So it means that Matthews would drop to second. Of course, Matthew and Matthews, of course, might get a little confusing. But Matthews will lose the championship lead to Matthew by quite a considerable amount. Of course, Matthew on 29, only 6 points behind. He'll gain 15 points at least on Matthews today. Rocco Walsh will be gaining 5, so Matthews will take will stay ahead of Rocco and be in P2. Matthew, of course, retaking the championship lead that was taken off from last week for the first time in ages, as Rocco Walsh now is on the back of Ryan here, and he might be going down the inside. He's going to hang back for now, try and get a better exit, but it looks like Ryan's actually been the one with the better exit. Pedro maybe might get a bit of a run on him, as everyone really spread out, it seems, between second to fifth, the closest of which being Rocco and Ryan. Rocco almost able to make a move, just a little bit longer of a straight, and he certainly would have been able to at least try and move down the inside. Right now, not working out for him as they come through turns 8 and 9 and then 10 onto the back straight. I don't think that he'll be making a move here, as it's over half a second between them, as Joey gets a penalty, as we're saying that he might be able to grab a P5 or 4. Not quite anymore. Yeah. Unless people ahead get
Rocco's
a few extra pens.
I've just checked the race director. Rocco has 2 warnings already. She's treading on thin ice, so he has to be careful. One more warning, and then he's level with Ryan on penalties.
Yeah, he's gonna have to kind of keep it calm. He, of course, making a move would be nice because it will give him a little bit of a buffer that if he does get a pen, he'd stay ahead. But right now, he really doesn't need to be getting pens at all, really. Even if he got ahead, he just having the security of not having any pens would be quite significant, and he's going to want to keep that as he hangs behind Ryan. I mean, so I guess he is kind of hanging back and just being patient, and he's going to make the move eventually, I would think.
It's a smart thing to do.
No rush for Rocco.
Yeah. And Brian also on no penalties. Nino on 9 seconds, so he will, if it stays as it is, he will jump Nino. And take that P7.
Yeah, that will be good for Brand's sake. If he ends up closing up like 3-4 seconds, which is doubtful, but if he does, of course he is on those softs, he might be able to snatch a P6 as well. But that is a little bit of a stretch, as I said.
Yeah.
As now Rocco Walsh once again having a little look. I'm sorry to cut you off there, but he had a little look again at Ryan here, but not able to be making any moves. Once again, just not close enough.
He will be looking for it onto this main straight though. He has a lot more ERS, well, 50% to 24%. That overtake is available.
Yeah, coming through turn 1, the little kink, and he's much more alongside now. He's going to be going around the outside, and now finally he's going to be able to make that move up into P2. So Racing Point lead a 1-2 once again, as they did earlier in this race. Lost it because of an amazing Williams strategy that ended up not quite going to plan. Of course, Joey being in that incident, trying to desperately get past Rocco to keep that P2 and P3 that Williams had, and now Williams only have a P3 and a P6 that they're running in, so I'm sure they'll be looking for better next week, as you have to say they can take positives out of it, that they were able to have that P2 and 3 for so long, and it was working quite well. But now he's under pressure from Pedro Sousa as well. At the exit of turn 10, he's going to activate DRS. He's going to have much more ERS, and he might be able to make this move now for P3. Pedro will be looking for this around the outside, very, very tight. And he's going to get squeezed out maybe at the exit of turn 12, or 13, I mean, through turn 14. He's going to keep that position.
That was a bold dive from Ryan, but he made the move stick. But it's similar to what Joey's move back on Rocco back in the same turn. But this one managed to work for Ryan.
Yeah, I think Ryan was a little bit more alongside. He committed to it a little more. I think Joey maybe didn't commit to it quite as much as he should have, and that's kind of why Rocco didn't really give him as much space, because he wasn't as much alongside. But this time maybe he's going to go down inside. No, he's going to stick behind for now. But going off that Joey thing, I think Joey maybe didn't commit to it as much as he should have, and a good showing from Ryan, really committed to making that move stick, and of course did work out for him for now at least.
I think Logan will be looking for a better performance next week. Down, and same with Thomas, P10, P11 for those two. They'll be looking to improve next week, because Logan's dropped quite a few positions after qualifying.
Yeah,
he's looking down and moving Felix. We're looking for it. He is. Yeah, he's on the softer tyre.
We'll go on board for a little bit. If something ends up happening, if we're that P2, it doesn't look like anything's going to happen as they go through Sector 3. Not really many moves possible to be made. So Logan Arend is going to get a better exit out of turn 10. He's going to open the DRS now. He's not using any ERS though, and it's going to be coming through turn 11 and then 12. heavy braking for turn 13, and he's actually going to go down the inside. Very, very late on the brakes. And he pulls off a beautiful move to go up into P9. I didn't even see that coming. I don't think Felix saw it coming either.
Oh, battle with Ryan and Pedro. Pedro tries to look down, I think it was the inside, I didn't catch that, but Ryan managed to keep the position.
Yeah, Pedro's trying to squeeze into a little gap that's there. Pedro gets a penalty though. And actually, oh my word!
Oh.
Ryan gets hit by Matthews there. On the exit, Ryan, it looks like Pedro was on the outside, he turned in, and Ryan clipped Pedro, as there's yellow flags, no safety car though. Yeah, Ryan clipped the back of Pedro's car, which put him in a spin to the right, and then Matthews had nowhere to go and hit the side of him, which is why Ryan is now out of this race. So Matthews now goes up into P4, but he has damage though, so he might have to pit. Actually, well, he won't. It's actually the last lap of the race, so we're gonna have to go on board with Matthew Alder, who's coming through turn 17 now. Through the final corner, Matthew Alder has dominated this race, really led every lap, at least in the net lead. He's not looked to be he hasn't looked to be challenged at all the whole race, and takes the win. Rocco Walsh is going to come through for a P2. Absolutely dominated really by both the racing points, and Pedro will take that P3 as Matthews, the championship leader, no longer drops to second behind Matthew Alder, and he takes P4. Joey in P5. Brendan Glover is actually going to get that P6, so he does jump Nino. Nino down to P7, and then Logan previously getting past Felix, who spins across the line to take P9. And I think I'm not sure.
For the Williams today.
As Nino gets the driver of the day, sure, but I don't think I would agree with that.
No, he did gain quite a few positions from the start of P15, but for me it's got to be Rocco. He defended well today.
Yeah, here we go though. Matthew lifting the trophy to show his win here in round 3 at Russia. Could have been a win last week if things went his way, but he's proved that he still has the pace. Rocco taking P2, a racing point 1-2 as well, and Pedro picks up that last podium position in P3.
Again, unfortunate for the Williams, they did have a P2, P3, but a couple of incidents resulted in P5 in the DNF.
Yeah, he will just about be classified though, so he will pick up that 1 point. If that's anything to take away from the race, he still comes off with a point, but yeah, as we said at the end of the race, it is a racing point 1-2. Matthew ahead of his teammate Rocco. Pedro's third, Matthews is fourth, Joey fifth, Brandon is sixth, Nino, Logan Arund, Felix and Ryan, your top 10, and then Thomas Tropy's just about classified, but he's not going to be scoring any points, and then Patrick, Lewis, Ollie and Spreen DNFing earlier in this race.
Yeah, I thought that Williams DNF to with the crash, but he obviously managed to maintain that 10th position. Missed that.
And we are going to try and grab the top 3 now to get them in for interviews. So as we have Matthew in. Do you know if Rocco will be joining Matthew?
I did tell him that we had podium news, so he should be joining. And I mean, I could just go and get him if you want me to.
Yeah, go on, just get him
he should be joining soon, I guess. But we'll start off with you, Matthew. Obviously, maybe it was a little bit of a boring race for you out front. You got a gap quite early and kind of led from there.
Yeah, I mean, that was basically the plan. When we just did the practice session just before that, I tried to break DRS and I was able to do it to Rocco, so I knew if I could do an actual thing, I could definitely pull away. Because it's like, Rocco could keep up with me at the start of the stint, but then he just fell off a bit after in the session before, so I assumed it'd be the same. And as soon as I broke the DRS, yeah, that kind of just happened, and I just stick to the plan. Pitted as soon as I felt I needed to, and then just tried to drive at my own pace and not pick up too many penalties, and I didn't. I only picked up one.
Yeah, and of course, I guess a steady race out in front, and obviously you came out with the win. Next week out is Monaco, so of course it is a bit of a, well, I say a bit, it is quite significantly a wheel track, so would you be looking for a win there as well?
I would hope so. I mean, Rocco's on pad, I think Joey's on pad, I think Ryan's on pad, Faz is on pad, so yeah, I'm just gonna hope that I don't get wing damage in the race. That's just gonna be my aiming for that one, because I think as long as I avoid that, then I think I'll be fine.
Well, congratulations to you on your first place, and good luck for next week. Tom, you can take Rocco then.
A good qualifying for you today, Rocco, and good finish in the end as well. When you were under pressure from, I think, the two Williams, were you ever worried that you, when they undercut you, were you ever worried that you wouldn't be able to re-overtake, or did you feel like you were quite comfortable?
The main part was just catching back up to them to get their DRS. And then after that, I thought I had the pace to get him. So, yeah, I think that I should have pitted like lap 8, I think, if I'm being really honest. So it was not too bad today.
Oh, fair enough. And next week for Monaco, how are you feeling? You feeling confident to?
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm probably gonna bin it lap 1, but if I get points, I think I'm just aiming for points, and that's it. Probably.
So this is Jeff. No heroics into Saint Devant. Are you okay?
I won't be doing any of that.
No.
And we had to go a little bit down the list because a few people weren't able to be, won't be able to join or couldn't be added. So, do we have you, Joey?
We do. Hello.
Okay, nice. Of course, for your race, it was quite action-packed. I guess you could say that. The start of the kind of first half of the race, when you and your teammate got into that solid P2 and P3, net P2 and P3 at least, you looked quite comfortable, and then once Rocco got past you, it kind of went downhill from there.
Yeah, it was fine at the start. It's happy just following and doing everything like that, because I knew I'd be able to undercut, because Blizzard was obviously ahead. And then, yeah, it was just sort of, I couldn't overtake Ryan because he had 3 seconds, so we were trying to keep him and the Fass and Matthews behind him. And then, yeah, it was just, I don't know about the incident. I was sort of like about to go around the outside, but then Rocco's obviously closed the gap, so I had to go down the inside at the last second or crash into the back of him. And then, yeah, it just It's just front wheels colliding. Not much you could do about it.
And yeah, of course, K1 to P5, I think it was in the end. But I'm sure you can take the positives away at least. I mean, you know that you and your teammate can work quite well together when you get into a good position like that P2 and P3. So maybe you think that it could go a bit better for Williams as a team next week. Obviously, being Monaco, it's you're quite close to the barriers. So how do you think you could do around there?
I think it's always a track where teamwork is like vital in there, because if you've got one guy in front like blocking other people, you can just hold them up, or you can undercut really effectively if you can stay out of the barriers. But again, like Blizzard said, there's a lot of pad drivers, so it's gonna be whoever can stay out of the wall pretty much.
Okay, so yeah, congratulations on your P5, although I think you would have hoped for better, but yeah, good luck for next week. Well, that concludes the stream then for round 3 here at Russia. I do hope you end up joining us next week. I am sure Jared will be back then. He would be then main. I would go back to being co. And of course we have F2 and F3 tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. UK time. So make sure to tune in for that. Both of those championships look quite close. A lot of good fights expected there too. So apart from that, have a good night, and hopefully we see you next week.